Kim Glanowski, and I'm with Eden Hope Academy, and I'm delighted that you are here joining me for the tutorial for our online Eden Hope Academy program, because your child is going to be radically transformed through this program, and they are going to be an independent thinker. Our scientists and educational experts and moms have all come together to design a program that best helps your child to think critically and to advance with their education. So how does it work? Well, at home each week, your child will probably set up a laptop or an iPad at the kitchen table while you are working, and they will watch a video of yours truly teaching them using our very large Eden Hope Academy workbook. Now, the Eden Hope Academy workbook is just one large page. So we designed it that way so that we don't have the how many more pages do I have to do question every week. It's just one very large page. So your children will have out some markers or some colored pencils, and they will be listening as I read each section to them, and then they'll draw a picture. Now, when I read the sections to them, it's just not reading and drawing a picture. I go through the history with them. I go through why it's relevant, and I expound upon it, and we make it so much fun. So they will do Bible, history, science, and geography with me on the videos, drawing 4 pictures. During this time, they might pause it to talk to you. I'll say, pause it and talk to your mom about this aspect of it, so it brings in you so that you can be discussing the information with them as well. After that, they will do 3 to 4 timeline cards. Now, the timeline cards are an Eden Hope exclusive product, and we're so proud of them because we have seen students just completely revolutionize their education through these cards. And best of all, the kids love doing them. So what the students do is, instead of rote memory with timeline cards where they're just memorizing a song and they're looking at pictures, they draw them themselves. And so they have to think so much more deeply about the event, and they have to be able to narrow down from the video that they watch or from the books that you get in the library the aspect of the event that they want to talk about. And that alone is a very important skill, to take a whole bunch of information and narrow it down to one item. So one of my favorite is Winston Churchill, and my children drew a bathtub on their timeline card, because Winston Churchill would take a copper bathtub and a little heater with him to World War I, and after the battle had raged during the day, he would take a tubby in the evening, and my children thought that was hysterical. So on the back of the timeline cards, they have room for one sentence alone, and then we have our natural language processing technique, our mind mapping technique that we use at the bottom. Now, again, this is an Eden Hope Academy exclusive. So they will write the event in the middle circle, and it might be Winston Churchill. And it might be like what they're going to talk about, that he was in World War I, he was also in the Boer War, he was also in World War II, so they might write down those 3 wars. And then below it, they might write down megaphone and bathtub. Why would they write down those? Well, because he had so much confidence that he wasn't going to be killed until the moment that he needed to die or that he was supposed to die, so he didn't ever worry. And so during World War I, he had that bathtub, and during World War II, he brought a megaphone, and he would shout to the Germans in their ship across the English Channel that he was Winston Churchill and he was there. And so he just had so much spunk and so much vibrance for life, and so they might put that down. Another thing they might put down is that his father was British and his mom was American. And when he spoke before the Congress in the United States one time, he said, who would have known, or who would have thought that perhaps if my father was American and my mother was British, then I would be here with you instead of the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. So all of those parts of Winston Churchill's life really show his personality, and children might write those down. They might write down something completely different, and that's okay, because they're learning to take bits of information and make a story by writing it above these circles. So the last thing that they'll do before they come to class or before they do Zoom with an Eden Hope Academy professional is that you will have them learn 4 memory songs for each week. They'll learn Bible, history, science, and geography. Now, all of these are fun songs that are set to music that you will enjoy too, but what we recommend is that you have one toy that the child loves, like Legos or K'NEX, something that they can build with, or coloring, and that is their special time to listen to Eden Hope Academy music. So whenever they want to play with that, they'll play the Eden Hope Academy music, and you will be astounded at how quickly they're able to memorize the songs. Now, the songs give your child a corpus of information from which to pull. So when they're memorizing about Alexander the Great, they're going to memorize that he had a horse, his name was Pasuphalis, that he cut the Gordian knot, and then he was one of the youngest rulers. So they might memorize all of that in a song, and then later when they hear about Alexander the Great, they'll be able to run that song through in their head and pull out all of the information again. So not only are the songs vocabulary building and they're information building, but they're also what your child will use far into their future to be able to speak intelligently to others. For example, my daughter is graduating from college, and she used many of her songs from Eden Hope Academy in her college anatomy class because she learned all of the parts of the body and she was able to just sing them during the test. So they're very important to memorize these songs. So when your child is ready for their Zoom session every week, they will meet with children from either in their area or around the United States, and they will have a certified Eden Hope Academy instructor working with them. And that instructor will ask them to all get out their timeline cards, and the children will take turns telling about one topic every week. Now, they won't be told which topic it is because we want them to do it all. And then after each child finishes talking about their timeline card, so 2 to 3 minutes, not anymore, and no scripted speeches. We want them to be able to talk about the event, talk about the history, because there's so few times in life where you're going to have a scripted speech, but there's so many times that you're going to need to speak intelligently. So once they finish speaking about the topic, then they'll say, does anyone have any questions or comments? Now that's where it gets really fun with these Skype classes or the Zoom classes, because the students from all over the United States will say what we have scripted them to say, which is, I appreciate that you spoke about this, and I would like to add that. Now, what does that do for a child? That teaches them great communication skills, but it also helps them to practice those skills. And it's amazing how the child is no longer thinking, what am I going to say next? But they have to really listen, say something complimentary, and then go on with what they're going to say. So we do our timeline cards in the Zoom or the online lessons, and then we do a game of Link It. Now, Link It is another Eden Hope Academy exclusive product that our team of experts developed, and what that does is it takes each individual piece of information that the child has learned that week and the previous weeks, and it plays a game with them. So if it's a little one, then we might say, this is the Dardanelles Straits card, and then we'll have another card, and we have it up on a board where we stick them up, and this is the Mediterranean Sea. Do these go together? Well, then the child will clap and they'll say, link it, because the Dardanelles Straits go directly into the Mediterranean Sea. Then we might say, how about Russia? Does that go with the Dardanelles Straits and the Mediterranean Sea? And they'll clap again and they'll say, link it, because the Russians go from the Black Sea to the Dardanelles Straits to the Mediterranean Sea in the winter time to get their goods and products from Russia to the rest of the world. And so your little ones will know that, and even if they're not readers yet, it's quite all right, because they can still play the game because we'll read it to them. Then we might say, how about the Hopewell Indians? And they might say, move it instead of link it, which means that there's really no correlation between the Dardanelles Straits and that area and the Hopewells, who are in North America. finally, with our online classes, we will do a Spanish review using the Eden Hope Academy Spanish program, and we will have a few minutes of ukulele practice. And the ukulele lessons are all online, so you can do this with your children during the week, or you can wait for us and we can just practice together. After ukulele, your child can do the Eden Hope Academy Science and Art for that week. The best parts of Eden Hope Academy is that you will receive 4 boxes of art and science materials every single year. And these are so much fun to use and to work with your children because everything's there. As moms who started this and with our team of people, we really saw that the scavenger hunt where you're trying to find different supplies and all for a project is just really not a good use of time. So with the Eden Hope Academy boxes, they all come in the mail to you. So you will receive bags with the art and science supplies that are neat and have all of the instructions of what to do and have all of the materials that you need to complete amazing art and science supplies. The only thing that you'll have to supply are those materials that you probably have around the house anyway, such as scissors, glue, that type of thing. So when you have finished this year, your child will not only have done 24 art projects, 24 science projects that are hands-on, open-ended, and fun, but also relevant to what they're learning each week, but they will have memorized 74 amazing songs with great vocabulary that will strengthen them in their corpus of information that they can use in the future. But not only all of that, but they will be able to apply their learning in their lives. So they will be able to take tidbits of information and they will be able to make assumptions and correlations to make them have great decisions as they go forward in their future. So imagine what they're going to be like when they are doing essays in college, which some of our Eden Hope Academy students are doing now. And they'll get back to me and they'll say, oh my goodness, I was able to use so many different aspects and make what I've done in college so much better because of the Eden Hope Academy program. So I can't wait to meet with your students twice a week, really, be it with the videos and then sometimes in person or one of our team members with you in person every single week. And I know that you're going to love this program and I know that your child is going to learn so much. Thanks so much for joining me.